person who has mistreated her for years. We don't want anybody else to experience this. No other family.
I brought the whole shop and brought the whole bag. If I ain't pimping, what the fuck you call that? These niggas trying to jump a nigga, man. Man, fuck all that, man. Young boy with all that pussy ass shit, man. Man, what you don't fight one-on-one? I'll fight you one-on-one, nigga.
These were the words of a man who believed he was untouchable, a man who thought his music would immortalize him. Instead, Justin Rene Lewis, known to the world as Mad Music Cali, would become infamous for something far more dreadful than his street anthems, as he would be linked to the deaths of 2 women who loved him, and one case remains unsolved to this day. On October 11, 2023, Mad Music Cali's girlfriend was gunned down in her parents' driveway in Decatur, Georgia, shot 7 times while her 9-year-old son watched in horror as she collapsed with grocery bags still in her hands. She was 2 months pregnant, carrying a child whose father would later be arrested for her murder. But before we get to that moment, let me take you back to 2017, to another woman's death, as this will give more context to the death of the pregnant woman. Sydney Dalcourt was 25 years old when she was found shot to death inside her running car on May 18, 2017, outside an apartment complex in New Orleans East. She worked at Pier 424 Seafood Market in the heart of the French Quarter and had dreams of becoming a rapper herself under the stage name China Doll. Her family members described her as beautiful, sweet, and deeply loved by everyone around her, someone who had no enemies and no conflicts with anyone that could explain what happened to her. The only person her family suspected was the man she had been married to for 5 years, the man who had given her black eyes, sent her to the hospital, and left her with injuries so severe she needed staples in her head. That man was Justin Rene Lewis, popularly known as Mad Music Cali. Sydney's sister, Tracy Dalcourt, didn't hold back when describing the marriage, detailing a pattern of brutal physical abuse that included incidents leaving Sydney battered and broken, yet still holding on to hope that her husband would change. Her cousin, Mariah Dyer, said the same thing, explaining that Sydney loved Lewis so deeply that she dreamed he would turn things around, that the violence would somehow stop, even though it never did. When Sydney was discovered in her red 2003 Infiniti G35 that May evening, Lewis immediately became the prime suspect. Despite all the suspicions and the family's certainty that he was responsible, there wasn't enough evidence to charge him, and the case went cold, leaving Lewis free to walk away without ever facing consequences. Fast forward 6 years, and Lewis had moved on to a new relationship with Rae Carruth, a woman from DeKalb County, Georgia, with whom he had children and appeared to be building a family. According to Rae's relatives, the same patterns of abuse that had plagued Sydney now emerged with Rae, with incidents of physical violence and moments of fear that eventually pushed Rae to end the relationship in an attempt to protect herself and her children. Then, she discovered she was pregnant with his child, and everything changed. Reports suggest that Lewis pressured Rae to terminate the pregnancy, insisting that she get an abortion, but she refused. That refusal, investigators believe, may have been what sealed her fate. Months before her death, Lewis allegedly fired shots at Rae's car while she was inside, but the gun malfunctioned when the clip fell out, preventing further shots and saving her life that night. Rae never reported the incident to the police, possibly out of fear, or perhaps hoping that keeping her distance from Lewis would somehow keep her safe, but distance wasn't enough to protect her. On that October evening, Rae was at her parents' home on Kelly Chapel Road, a place where she should have been safe from harm, doing something as mundane as unloading groceries from her car. As she carried bags toward the house with her 9-year-old son nearby, gunfire erupted from an ambush, and 7 shots struck her body with deadly precision. 2 bullets hit her in the back, one tore through her chest, another struck her leg, and the final shot hit her head. Her young son stood helpless as his mother collapsed in front of him, while family members inside the house heard the gunfire and rushed outside, only to find Rae already gone. She was 2 months pregnant, carrying a child who would never have a chance to live.
The family still reeling after someone shot and killed a young mother in the family driveway. It happened on Kelly Chapel Road. Rae Carruth's family tells Fox 5 her 8-year-old son watched it happen.
Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us live from DeKalb County tonight. Angelique, Heard's family spoke to you. Why did they say they're so frustrated with the process?
Well, good evening to you both. Family members and friends say they are frustrated because there has been no arrest, and they say they know exactly who did the shooting. And even more upsetting, they claim the shooter has been on social media many days since the murder.
And I just feel like I just want justice for her.
Justice that Rae Carruth's best friends say is coming too slowly. The young mother of 2 boys, who's described as the life of the party, was gunned down, DeKalb police say, in her parents' driveway. Family members say Rae was getting groceries out of the trunk when someone ambushed her from the side of the family's home on Kelly Chapel Road. They shot her multiple times. Her youngest son, just 8 years old, watched it all.
Words couldn't explain how bad it hurt for them to have witnessed that. It's unexplainable. It's so hard.
Both the family and Rashida's friends say they know who shot her. Keep in mind, several of the family members were at the house when the deadly shooting occurred. DeKalb police say they have identified a suspect, but they are not yet ready to release his name.
He's doing a lot on his Instagram.
He's taunting us. He's taunting the family.
Yeah, he wants to go viral from this. So, yes, we know who it is.
Meanwhile, Raisha's besties, who have known her since 9th grade, say they will miss so much about her.
Her smile.
She always had a smile, a big smile. She touched a lot of people's lives. She had a lot of friends, and she was just so loving and caring. She's a loving and caring person. She's the life of the party. We're going to have a positive,
never negative.
And these friends say they do plan to reach out to DeKalb police to talk with them about this new information about this person being on social media. We are live in DeKalb County. Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
All right, Angelique, thanks.
The family of a pregnant mother killed in her parents' driveway says they're relieved that police have made an arrest now. They say that while the suspect was on the run, he was posting on social media and even responding to their posts. Channel 2's Tom Jones live at DeKalb County, where the family says this isn't the first time they've lost a loved one to gun violence.
And Justin, Rae Carruth was killed right here in her parents' driveway. The family says a year ago they lost another family member to gun violence. They say Rae helped them deal with that death, and now she's gone.
Our family is devastated. Devastated.
The Heard family is crushed after a gunman shot 31-year-old Rae Carruth 7 times in her parents' driveway, killing the pregnant mother of 2. Police have charged Justin Lewis, a rapper who goes by the name Mad Music Cali, with her murder. Raisha's family says she had broken off their relationship because he was abusive.
This is a person who has mistreated her for years.
The family says Raisha was shot in front of her 9-year-old son. They are relieved Lewis is in custody.
I'm just happy that Justin is captured because we don't want anybody else to experience this. No other family.
The family says this isn't their first brush with gun violence.
We just buried my brother last year for gun violence.
Raisha was the glue that held everyone together.
That was my rock. She was really helping me heal.
Now she is gone. The family couldn't believe it when they saw Lewis on social media after the shooting, like nothing had happened.
I actually posted that he was wanted and that we were going to find him, and he liked it. He liked the status.
They are now urging people to recognize signs of trouble early in relationships and get out before you become too attached.
Don't fall in love to find out that, your hands are not for hitting, they're for hugging.
The family says they're on a mission.
We're going to definitely seek justice for Raisha.
And the Heard say Lewis was the father of Raisha's unborn child. He is now in the DeKalb County Jail facing a malice murder charge. Raisha will be laid to rest on Monday. We're live in DeKalb County. Tom Jones, Channel 2 Action News.
Within days, the DeKalb County Police made an arrest, taking Justin Renee Lewis into custody on October 18, 2023, in Forest Park, Georgia, where he was charged with 1 count of malice murder and booked into DeKalb County Jail. The arrest brought a moment of relief for Raisha's family, but what happened in the days between her murder and his arrest made things become even more gloomy. Lewis went live on Instagram before his arrest, addressing the accusations swirling around him and dismissing them as rumors spread by Raisha's family, while claiming there was only a possibility he was the father of her unborn child. Family members described his behavior as taunting, especially when he interacted with social media posts labeling him as wanted. Raisha's sister, Rhonda Heard Dickens, expressed a mixture of relief and profound sorrow following Lewis's arrest, telling reporters that the family finally slept well that night. The grief, however, was overwhelming and compounded by the fact that this was the second fatal shooting in their family within 14 months, leaving them reeling from loss after loss. The similarities between Sidney Dalcour's death in 2017 and Raisha Heard's murder in 2023 are impossible to ignore. Both women were shot near or inside vehicles. Both had been in relationships with Lewis that were marked by allegations of severe physical abuse, and were women who, according to their families, had no other enemies and were beloved by everyone who knew them. The key difference is that Sidney's case remains unsolved, while Lewis now faces charges for Raisha's murder. Let's talk about who Justin Renee Lewis really is and how he became the man at the center of these tragedies. Born and raised in the 9th Ward of New Orleans, a neighborhood known for its vibrant culture but also its challenges, Lewis dreamed of becoming a rapper from a young age. Inspired by local legends like the Hot Boys, he began crafting hooks and rhymes as a child, envisioning a future where his name would be known across the hip-hop world. But money was always tight. Without access to professional studios, Lewis got resourceful in ways that revealed his willingness to cross lines even back then. He stole microphones from discount stores like Family Dollar and used his mother's computer with free software to record tracks in the basement after school. His early career was defined by grinding on the streets. He burned CDs of his first mixtape and sold them outside corner stores in the 8th Ward, using whatever money he made to fund professional studio sessions. One of his notable moves was paying for a feature from bounce music icon Big Freedia on the single By the Look in Her Eyes, a collaboration that lent him some credibility in the local scene. Over the years, he released tracks like Dumb Flow in 2020 and Letter to Meek in 2023, building a modest following on platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, while his music videos, including Da Nightmare featuring Magnolia Chop, showcased a raw, narrative-driven style that resonated with fans of Southern street rap. Despite all his efforts, Lewis never broke through to mainstream success, and his career remained underground. He even had run-ins with bigger names in the industry, including NBA YoungBoy, though the beef between the two was minor and mostly highlighted Lewis's tendency to seek attention through confrontation. In a 2018 interview at South by Southwest, Lewis downplayed any issues with YoungBoy and expressed hope that they could work together in the future, painting himself as someone trying to navigate the industry's competitive waters. It was a moment that showed him trying to present a professional face to the world, but beneath that surface, there were cracks forming in his personal life that would eventually shatter the lives of the women closest to him. Now that you understand who Justin Renee Lewis is, let's dig deeper into the aftermath of the murder. The murder moved very swiftly, with DeKalb County Police immediately classifying the case as a domestic-related homicide. There was no robbery or random violence, just a calculated ambush of a woman who had dared to refuse the demands of a man who believed he could control her fate. But the grief was overwhelming. Rhonda Heard Dickens, Raisha's sister, told reporters that the family finally slept well the night of Lewis's arrest.
I'm just happy that Justin is captured, because we don't want anybody else to experience this. No other family.
But that small measure of peace couldn't erase the pain. The trauma was made worse by the fact that this was the second fatal shooting in the Heard family within 14 months, compounding their grief.
We just buried my brother last year for gun violence. that was my rock. She was really helping me heal.
Raisha's brother, Ralph Heard Jr., mourned his sister's beautiful personality, while Rhonda highlighted the years of mistreatment Raisha had endured. In Raisha's case, the evidence was apparently stronger, leading directly to his arrest and the murder charge he currently faces. But the haunting question remains: could Raisha's death have been prevented if Sydney's case had been resolved differently? If Lewis had faced consequences for that first alleged act of violence, would there have been a second victim at all? While Justin Lewis sat in jail awaiting trial for Raisha's murder, researchers and public health experts were releasing findings that put cases like hers into terrifying context. Studies show that homicide is actually a leading cause of death for pregnant women in the United States, surpassing traditional maternal health complications. And in a significant portion of these cases, the perpetrator is an intimate partner, someone who claims to love the victim but sees her pregnancy as a threat to be eliminated. The pattern repeats itself with chilling consistency across America. Consider Donovan Faison, a 23-year-old from Seminole County, Florida, whose case mirrors Lewis's in disturbing ways. In November 2022, his 18-year-old girlfriend, Kaylin Fiengo, sent him text messages with photos of positive pregnancy tests, excited to share the news that she was 2 months pregnant. His response was immediate and brutal: abortion, followed by accusations that she was lying. Just like Raisha, Kaylin refused, and just like Lewis allegedly did to Raisha, Faison lured Kaylin to Coastline Park in Sanford under the pretense of celebrating the pregnancy. There, in her car, he shot her in the head, leaving her and their unborn child to die. An ultrasound image was found near her body, a haunting reminder of the life she'd been celebrating just moments before her murder.
A man is accused of killing his pregnant girlfriend and their unborn child. He was arrested 10 months after her murder. Fox 35's Patrick Perez is live at Sanford Police Headquarters tonight. And Patrick, they believe he killed her because she refused to get an abortion.
Luann, some really disturbing information we're learning about this case. We know it took detectives months to put the evidence together in order to make this arrest. I want to show you now a picture of the man that they arrested yesterday. This is 21-year-old Donovan Faison. He's accused of killing his girlfriend and her unborn child. This happened back in November of last year at Coastline Park in Sanford. Today, a banner in memory of 18-year-old Kaylin Fiengo still hangs from the fence near this crime scene. An officer patrolling the area found Kaylin dead in the driver's seat of her car while parked at the park. Police say Kaylin was about 3 months pregnant when the suspect wanted her to have an abortion, but she refused. And that's what investigators believe was the motive behind the shooting. The suspect's arrest has brought a bit of closure, as you can imagine, to her family and close friends.
It did take a long time. It's very bittersweet. It makes it feel more real. Definitely that he's in jail now, but I'm just happy that justice is finally being served for her.
Just a lot of emotions. Very happy, but also sad that this is something that we're like celebrating or whatever.
And Faison is facing 2 charges of homicide for Kaylin's murder and for the murder of the unborn child. We're live in Sanford tonight. I'm Patrick Perez, Fox 35 News.
Prosecutors presented text messages showing a history of arguments over the pregnancy, evidence that painted a clear picture of premeditation. Faison was arrested in August 2023 and charged with first-degree murder and killing an unborn child under Florida's fetal homicide laws. His trial in October 2025 lasted weeks, with the jury deliberating only 2 hours before convicting him on both counts.
You could hear the deep breaths taken in the courtroom by Kaylin Fiengo's friends and family as the verdict was read out loud. After a trial that started over 2 weeks ago with jury selection, Donovan Faison was found guilty on all counts.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder.
An overwhelming moment of relief for Kaylin Fiengo's loved ones as the jury's verdict was announced.
We've been waiting a long time for this.
An emotional end, almost 3 years since Fiengo was found shot and killed in Sanford's Coastline Park. Investigators say Donovan Faison murdered her because she refused to terminate her pregnancy.
Were you supposed to meet up with her? No, I wasn't supposed to meet up with her. I was supposed to do nothing with her. We didn't have no conversation of meeting up, nothing.
During closing arguments Monday, prosecutors played body camera video of Faison's first interview with detectives.
Lie after lie after lie after lie. You can read it line after line.
And presented months of messages, including this exchange where they say Fiengo told Faison she was pregnant and his response was abortion. Faison's attorneys poked holes in the police investigation and argued he may have made mistakes, but he is not a murderer.
But at best, you have evidence of a man that's cheating, of a man that possibly didn't want to have another child. There's no evidence of him being in the car. There's no evidence of him coming around the front. There's no evidence of her reaching for a purse. There's no evidence of him pulling the trigger.
Prosecutors say the motive was undeniable, and after Faison's world fell apart when his girlfriend found out he had lied, cheated, and got another girl pregnant, he planned and executed Fiengo's murder.
The defendant thought about it. He devised the plan to kill an innocent victim. He carried out the plan in cold blood.
Fiengo's family says she will be missed and she will be remembered for choosing her child.
What she did was brave regardless, right? She chose her child at the end of the day.
Now that Faison has been found guilty, he could be sentenced to death. The judge ordered both the state attorneys and the defense attorneys to be back at this courthouse on Wednesday to start the death penalty phase. In Seminole County, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
During the penalty phase, Kaylin's family shared their grief. Her aunt, Tatiana Fiengo, described her as brave, funny, and forgiving, a young woman with her whole life ahead of her. Faison's own family begged for mercy, pleading for life imprisonment instead of death, citing his youth. But the jury voted 11-1 for death, pointing to aggravating factors like the victim's age and the calculated nature of the crime. On December 8, 2025, Judge Deborah S. Nelson sentenced Faison to death, making it one of Florida's rare capital cases since recent law changes. Then there's the case of Rae Carruth, the former NFL wide receiver whose story became a national scandal in 1999. His pregnant girlfriend, Sherika Adams, was 24 and 8 months along when she refused his demands for an abortion. Carruth wanted to avoid child support payments that would interfere with his rising football career, so he did something almost unthinkable. He hired hitman Van Brett Watkins and accomplices to stage a drive-by shooting. Sherika was ambushed in her car on a Charlotte street, shot 4 times. But in an act of incredible courage, she managed to call 911 and name Carruth as responsible before lapsing into a coma. Doctors delivered their son, Chancellor, via emergency C-section, but Sherika died a month later. Chancellor survived but lives with cerebral palsy, a permanent reminder of the violence that took his mother's life. Carruth's trial drew massive media attention. After 20 hours of deliberation, the jury acquitted him of first-degree murder but convicted him of conspiracy to commit murder, discharging a firearm into occupied property, and using an instrument to destroy an unborn child.
Did you say to Detention Officer Griffin, 2 weeks after you caused that, I hope the bitch dies? Did you say that?
That's the bitch I was talking about.
Oh, I see.
Rae Carruth.
Oh.
That's the bitch I was referring to, who got me into this.
Oh.
Okay? This is the bitch I was referring to.
Oh.
He didn't stand up. I stood up for mine. I said I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I did it because he made me do it. Okay? He made the other two also do it. Okay? That's your client, the bitch.
At the time that you made that statement, Sherika Adams was fighting for her life, right?
Did the captain tell you what happened that day?
My question is, Sherika Adams was fighting for her life, wasn't she?
She was. But this wasn't about Sherika Adams. It was about the person who got me involved in all this. For 6 months, your client did this. This wasn't a one-day affair. It was for 6 months. He dragged me into something that I didn't want to be involved with. Your client.
Now, have you ever referred to women as bitches?
It's not something I would do all the time. If I did it in anger.
Right. If you were angry at a woman, you'd say, you bitch, right?
Yeah. But if a dude acts like a bitch, okay, like your client, the insult doubles. Then with a woman, there it is. Who didn't stand up, who didn't say, look, I did this. Look, I am sorry. I did this. I'm gonna, what he said was, I'm gonna save myself after the murder. You're defending this.
Were you hoping that Miss Adams died?
I got a second-degree murder charge. The rest of my life in prison. If she would have lived, I wouldn't have the rest of my life in prison.
Sir.
So you could answer that question.
On January 22, 2001, he was sentenced to 18 years and 11 months minimum. He was released in October 2018 after serving nearly 19 years, expressing remorse but maintaining partial innocence. These cases reveal a disturbing pattern. Men who view pregnancy as an obstacle to their freedom or careers, who demand abortion and turn violent when refused. They see murder as preferable to fatherhood. And the methods are hauntingly similar. Ambush-style attacks, often involving vehicles, designed to look random but calculated down to the last detail. Research published in PLOS Medicine confirms what these cases demonstrate. Intimate partner violence is strongly linked to pressured pregnancy termination, and when women resist that pressure, they face dramatically elevated risks of severe violence or death. The statistics are scary. Studies suggest pregnancy exacerbates existing abuse in 45 to 60% of intimate partner violence relationships, with the risk of homicide spiking during this vulnerable period. So where does this case stand now, as of today? That's the question haunting everyone following this story, and unfortunately, the answer is frustratingly unclear. Despite Lewis being arrested and charged with malice murder in October 2023, there have been no public updates on any trial, conviction, plea deal, or resolution in the more than 2 years since. The case appears stuck in legal limbo, trapped in a system that moves slowly even when the stakes involve life and death. Even more puzzling is the fact that searches of DeKalb County jail records show that Lewis is not currently incarcerated, which immediately raises questions. Was he released on bond despite facing a murder charge? Did something happen with the case that the public hasn't been informed about? In Georgia, murder cases, especially those involving malice murder charges, typically don't allow for easy bond releases. Malice murder is a serious charge that can result in a life sentence if convicted, so the legal threshold for releasing someone pending trial is exceptionally high. Yet, the absence of Lewis from current jail records suggests that something shifted after his initial booking, though without official statements from the DeKalb County DA's office or updates from local news outlets, we're left piecing together a puzzle with missing pieces. Court records that should be available through Georgia's Odyssey portal returned no matching cases for Justin Renee Lewis tied to the murder charge, which could mean the case hasn't been digitized, it's under seal, or there's been some administrative issue keeping it out of public view. This lack of transparency is maddening for anyone seeking answers, especially for Raisha's family, who have been waiting for justice since October 2023. The relief they felt when Lewis was arrested has likely been tempered by the agonizing wait for a case that seems to be moving at an impossibly slow pace. This isn't just about one family's pain, because it's emblematic of broader issues in how the justice system handles domestic violence cases, particularly in jurisdictions with significant case backlogs. DeKalb County, like many urban areas, has faced substantial delays in processing criminal cases, a problem severely exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, which shut down courts and created bottlenecks that jurisdictions are still clearing years later. Murder trials in Georgia routinely take anywhere from 2 to 5 years to reach a courtroom, which means that even if Lewis's case is progressing behind the scenes, it could still be a considerable time before there's any public resolution. What do you think about this case? Let me know in the comments section. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this.